My name is Johnny, and I'm an alcoholic. And I'd have to say that again. My name is Johnny, and I'm an alcoholic. It took me a long time to realize that. And I'm nervous. A general an idea of what it was like and what happened and what it's like now. I grew up in Southwest LA in Lenox, where I was the minority. I always felt out of place. You had brown eyes, I wanted them because I had blue eyes. You had brown skin, and I wanted it, but I had white skin. If I went on the other side of the tracks, I didn't fit in there. And I didn't even fit in my own neighborhood. And I had a very loving mom. I was born in Birmingham, Alabama, and I came out here when I was 6 months old. And my mom did the best she could. At the age of 13, she was supposed to die from rheumatic fever, and she had a crippled heart. And she gave birth to me, and I'm her only son. The doctors put her on disability, so I was raised with a fixed income. And the funny thing is, my mom always did the best she could. She'd take me to thrift stores, and I hated it. You went to Miller's Outpost, why can't I go to Miller's Outpost? You know? And now you couldn't keep me out of a thrift store. And I grew up in an era where it was sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and I was a small, puny guy, and I always wanted to fit in, you know? That's all I ever wanted to do, was just to be loved, just to be a part of. And as soon as I started seeing people going in and out of jail where I grew up, it was like, well, what happens there? You know, oh, it was cool, I just kicked it, you know, no big deal. And they're coming out bigger, buffer, with more respect. And that's all I wanted. So from the age of 13 to 26, I went in and out of institutions and didn't care. And getting with the steps and getting with the sponsor, the only thing that I learned was all I wanted was not to have responsibility, because I'm an alcoholic. I will run from anything that has to do with being responsible and taking care of my own actions. Lock me up, I don't care. It's the easier, softer way. And as soon as I started partying, I felt like I arrived. You know, I just felt better. And I had so much hate in me, I didn't really even care. All I wanted to do was just numb myself. And I know what it's like to walk the streets at night because I'm kicked out of the house and pick up cigarette butts. I know what it's like to drink out of a bottle that I don't even know where it came from. This is sick and it's the truth, but I've done it, and God, it was somebody pissed in it. And I'm spitting it out, but I've been there and I've done that, and I know what that's like, you know? And so I get out of jail, or I parole in 94, and I come here. And let me stop for a minute and say, if you're new, welcome. Welcome home. And get ready for a roller coaster ride. And sometimes it might even feel like it's the teacups, because you're going to be spinning around and around. And, you know, I played with this thing. I never got honest. I never wanted to know let anybody in here. I never wanted to let anybody know how I feel. That I'm scared, that I'm lonely, that I'm hurt, and that I'm confused. I never wanted to tell anybody that. I got sober on January 21st of this year, of 2003. I got married, I met her, and thinking that she would fix me, you know, and there's people in this room that remember I went through that. And she was from that so-called other side of the tracks. Her parents dropped 30 grand on our wedding and didn't even blink. That doesn't make me better than, less than, or anything, but I still felt out of place. And I still had a problem. I was still using, and God bless her. She paid the bills. She kept her job. I never kept my job. I just go from job to job and chucking and jiving my way through. You know, and she traveled. I drop her off at the airport. Couldn't wait to drop her off. You know? So I could be by myself and do what I do. And I was dying on the inside. Dying. My mom took me to church as a kid. I ran from that because I never felt a part of there. I always felt out of place and I always felt different. But on January 21st of this year, that's exactly the same place I went back to. And I don't think it's by a coincidence that I went to Praise Chapel in Paramount, California, and seen 4 people from Lenox in that very same church. And I was done. I didn't know what to do. I was tired. There was a guy that I was in camp with, and I haven't seen in 20 years I played Little League with, and came and sat right next to me. To me, that was by no mistake. That was not coincidental. I don't believe in that. Not today, I don't. I believe everything that has happened in my life has happened for a reason, up until this very moment. And what I had to do was surrender, and my sponsor gave me the definition of surrender. That means to come over to a winning team. And I love analogies, and the best analogy I can give you is that all of my life, it seems like if I was in a room, always trying to get out, always bumping my head up against the wall, always. And it wasn't until I threw my hands in the air that, whoa, what's that? There's a string. Grab onto it, pull it, there's a light. I could see the door now. Now I'm walking out. The very thing that I grabbed onto is God himself. The whole thing that we're on, it seems as if when I walked out of that room, it's like the first 90 days you're sober. It's foggy. If you're in a dark room, what's going to happen? You're going to be blinded. It's going to hurt your eyes. And when the fog lifted, it seemed as if I seen a mountain. And there's all these trails, and there's people running up it, there's people walking up it, and there's people sliding down. And that mountain is the very thing that we call life. And thank God for this program, because there's one trail that I've been on for going on 10 months now. And it has steps, it has stairs, and it has handrails. And it's this fellowship, and God is one of them handrails in this fellowship. And there's people that are just trudging up that hill slowly, but they're on it, and it's a foundation. I could try to run up there, but I'll fall back down, and I'll probably fall right back into that room, and the light bulb might not ever come on again. You know? That is the way I feel inside. And it seems as if though there's a lot of times that, well, you know, I like shortcuts, so let me just duck up underneath the rail and try to get up with these people, and I can't. I can't worry about what you guys are doing, because I've always felt out of place, and I've always felt that I'm comparing my insides with your outsides, and I've always came up short or better than. And for the first time in my life, I feel I'm okay whether it's park bench or park place, and you people have showed me how to do that. And it's the word acceptance and surrender. The very thing in the serenity prayer. I have to accept wholeheartedly everything that I can't change. I cannot change anything. And the courage to change the things I can, and that's everything. And the wisdom to know the difference. That's this thing in a nutshell. And it's so easy to hate, and it's so easy to be angry. The hardest thing to do is to love. And I don't like everybody in this room, and I probably never will, and you might not ever like me. But when I shoot from here, not here, that's love. That's God doing for me what I can't do for myself.